Onward and upward, as Barbara would say.
Through every nook and every cranny, the wind blew on poor old Granny, around her knees and in each ear, and up her nose as well, I fear. Through the night, the wind blew worse, and nearly made the vicar curse. The top had fallen off the steeple, just missing him and other people. It blew on man, it blew on beast, it blew on nun, it blew on priest. It blew the wig of Auntie Fanny, but most of all, it blew on Granny.
I'm sure it will be all Greek to you, but it will be a translation. However, it is for Barbara because she's very fond of Greek and she's missing the Greek language in the last few years. Για τον Αμμόνη που πέθανε 29 ετών στα 610. Ραφαήλ, ολίγους στίχους σε ζητούν για επιτύμβιον του ποιητού Αμμόνη να συνθέσεις. Κάτι πολύ καλέσθητον και λίον. Συ θα μπορέσεις. Είσαι ο κατάλληλος να γράψεις ως αρμόζει για τον ποιητή Αμμόνη τον δικό μας. Βέβαια θα πεις για τα ποίηματά του, αλλά να πεις και για την ομορφιά του, για την λεπτή ομορφιά του που αγαπήσαμε. Πάντοτε ωραία και μουσικά τα ελληνικά σου είναι, όμως την μαστοριά σου όλη είναι τι λέμε τώρα. Σε ξένη γλώσσα η λύπη μας και η αγάπη μας περνούν. Το αιγυπτιακό σου αίσθημα χύσε στην ξένη γλώσσα. Ραφαήλ, οι στίχοι σου έτσι να γραφούν που να έχουν, ξέρεις, από τη ζωή μας μέσα. Που και ο ρυθμός και κάθε φράσεις να μιλούν. Για Αλεξανδρινό γράφει Αλεξανδρινός. Wow. The translation will solve all your problems.
Amones, who died aged 29 in 610. Raphael, they want you to compose a few verses as an epitaph for the poet Amones. Something polished and in good taste. You can do it. You are the appropriate person to write as befits the poet Amones, our very own. You must, of course, mention his poems, but you should also speak about his beauty, his delicate beauty that we loved. Your Greek has always been elegant and musical, but we're in need of your entire skill now. Our love and our sorrow pass into a foreign tongue. Pour your Egyptian feeling into the foreign tongue. Raphael, your verses must be written in such a way that they contain, something in them of our lives, that both cadence as well as every phrase denote that in Alexandrian is writing about Alexandrian.
A little vignette, a little story from Anne Monnier, Anne Lecroix, who can't be here sadly. Auntie Barbara, you have to be auntie to me, though in reality you are more of a friend, and much easier to get along with than most friends because you're family as well. A rare combination, something indefinable that means relationships with you seem second nature. There never is an embarrassed pause in our conversation, no time for pauses anyway, and no subjects are taboo. Well, sex isn't, certainly. The difference in our generations only feels like an excuse for more talk, never a barrier. When you recount your life before I was even thought of, it is dramatic or romantic, while at the same time you have a genius for talking about life, love, happiness, as if they're all perfectly ordinary subjects of conversation. Yes, indeed. How do you manage never to sound so pompous or banal? That is where your talent lies. If I tell you about some incident or develop some theory of mine, you will sound genuinely interested. Really, you ask? Making one feel as though one were unique. To you, everything is interesting, in fact. The telephone quite often rings in Rennes, saying, Anne, I have just heard this program on Radio 4 and I thought it might interest you. And you go on to tell me about it, and it really does interest me. Thank you for making one feel you are special. Thank you for your curiosity and interest. Thank you for your generosity, your resilience, and being who you are. Jean-Luc and I wish you a very happy birthday. Now Babette, who is Anne and Christine's sister, is just going to say a few words.
So yes, Auntie Barbara, you're also a very encouraging person. So, and also quite naturally unpolitically correct person. At my Uncle John's 80th birthday, that was in the 90s, I used to still smoke at the time. And feeling rather embarrassed smoking in corners with a small bunch of people who used to smoke at the time. And at some point I met you in the garden, and you asked me, so Babette, you smoke, do you? And I said, yes. And I got the rather unexpected, very soothing answer, good girl.
I'm going to do a fusion flamenco dance for you now. I'm just going to say something here. 95, it's called. I stir in bed, eyes wide, awake at 4. The radio hums with the low tones of educated men. I wander across the echoes of my years, through broken roads and shouting streets, to thunderous waves on virgin sands. Memories rest on my shoulders like sisters, cling to my skin in great rabble-rous numbers, sing to me like some strange fairy tale. They are all there, gathered atop my head, books on oak shelves waiting to be read, to be shared. The old always say, yesterday is harder to remember than 20,000 days before. But it's true, they're right of course, the old. So I saddle up, gallop across decades of thought, through deep forests of memories, the great mountains of my love. It's quite an adventure, believe me. I've been lucky, I suppose. And when I've seen them all, when my mount is worn and my head is full again, I return to the quiet room to listen and to rest. I hear a voice, the chiming chords of its sender. As the dawn breaks through my eyelids, I think, 95 is a day to remember.
So here's to Barbara, a very wonderful happy birthday and all the pleasure you've given us over the years. To Barbara! To Barbara! Barbara!